John, we started broadcasting, so
Hello, everybody.
Sorry. Okay, sorry.
We are live.
we're live, and we're about 2 minutes late, 3 minutes late. We were supposed to start at 6:30, but we were just running late a little bit. Today, folks, we're doing a beer that you may never see. You may never get it, and you won't find out about it on the Heineken website because we're looking at Heineken Dark, and you can try to look it up on the Heineken website. I don't think you'll find it.
Nope.
Like they'll direct you to Heineken USA. They'll list a whole bunch of beers, but this one won't. You can type it in and say no results found.
Yeah.
So usually I'll talk about the history of the beer and all that. I'm sorry. I don't know how long it's been out, but I know it's been decades because I found some old magazine advertisements from the 1970s or at least the early 80s. So it has been around probably at least 30 or 40 years. It's kind of like Beck's Dark. They put it out there, and they did advertise for a while. Now they don't. I know Beck's Dark came out in 1977, but it's just like Beck's Dark in the sense that it's really only sold in America. It's made, Beck's Dark was made in Germany. This is made in the Netherlands, but it's for export. So if you live in the Netherlands, they make it there, but you can't buy it.
Weird.
And a guy from Germany told me, he said, look, for the most part, people in Germany don't drink this kind of stuff, okay? He said they just drink Pilsners, and they drink it like we drink Coca-Cola or iced tea. And they want it the cheapest possible one they can find. So it's just like a drink like that. And if you bring in these, he said the craft beer scene in Germany is very low. And if you bring in beers like these, they're going to say, oh, it doesn't taste good. Well, what's wrong with this beer? Why didn't you bring Pilsner? So, and I mean, I know the Netherlands is not Germany, but it's next door. And apparently their culture is similar in that respect.
I don't know if the information that I found is correct, although if you go on ratebeer.com to the Heineken Special Dark page, it does have a link to take you to Heineken Dark Lager, but on the Heineken Special Dark it says that it was launched in 1994. I don't know where that information comes from, but that's what that website says.
I'm on Beer Advocate right now, and it was added by Beer Advocate on 8 of 2001. So.
Yeah, I think, Eric, this beer has been around a lot longer than 1990.
I would guess.
Because I found some advertisements that look like
older than that. Yeah.
I think they even said I hit my tooth. I think they even said 1982 on them or something like that. So, but whatever the case,
not good information to be found.
If you have a Heineken Dark website brought up, that's cool. I didn't know they had such a thing.
No, that was just what I read on on one of the sites on ratebeer.com.
Oh yeah, I don't believe that's correct. Look at this head. The head is kind of beige.
Let me pour the beer.
It's reddish brown, right? Mahogany John said, I believe, about the Beck's Dark or the.
Yeah, it's a mahogany color.
Dark.
Yeah.
It used to be called Heineken Special Dark when I first started buying it, and it was in the squat bottles, the short neck.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they changed the label about 2 or 3 years ago when they updated the Heineken, to the long necks. They updated Heineken Dark. I'm going to introduce everybody in a moment. We used to get this here in my town. They cut it. And why did they cut it?
Wasn't selling?
Correct. I had to go into Jefferson Parish, and I bought this at World Market, and it was $7.99 for the 6-pack. But today, out west, we have Beer Cub.
Hello.
Hello, Beer Cup. He is in Wyoming. Down south, we have me in Louisiana with Louisiana Beer Reviews. Up north, we have John Sharon with Zone 1 in Indiana. And in New England, the Northeast, Massachusetts, we have Eric.
Hola. Hello.
With Massachusetts Beer Reviews. And yes, Massachusetts used to be 2 different states. Plymouth Bay Colony and Massachusetts Bay Colony, and they merged them, right?
Correct.
I believe that was in 1691.
Yeah, that was a real long time ago.
Totally irrelevant to what we're talking about. And Louisiana used to be really big and stretch all the way to Canada, but so what? Okay. Well, who's never had this before? John, you've never tasted it.
I've never, the first time I've ever had it right here, right now.
Wow, we got to let John give us the aroma test. Oh, and it's 5.17% alcohol.
1.7.
5.17%. Okay, so off we go to the wild brown yonder. John Sharon is going to give us his inaugural smell assessment.
I've never had this beer. This is it right here. I get a little coffee on it. Maybe some caramel notes. Maybe some roasted grains. But the aroma on this is just really, really good.
I asked you on the internet. I asked you when we were talking. I said, you told me you paid $8.88. I said, was that before or after tax?
That's before taxes. It was $8.88. So after that, I had 6% onto that. So.
Okay. Mine was $7.99 at World Market.
It was right at $10 for a 6-pack. So.
How about you,
My
beer?
wife really likes these dark beers, so she's actually having one now. So. But you definitely get the caramely notes, coffee notes, and the roasted malts off of it. It smells really good.
Okay. Well, I know you want to start tasting, so we're going to go through the smell test fast. Out west, what do you think about the Aroma Beer Cub? I know you've had it before.
Yeah, it's in addition to what John mentioned, I think I pick up a little bit of molasses in the nose. It's definitely very smells great. I mean, look, it's beautiful beer in the glass and smells great. And it's just sad that it doesn't get any promotion. I had never seen this beer in my life until we moved out west, and that all the stores out here carry it for whatever reason. I guess it sells out here. But yeah, it smells great. Can't wait to taste it.
Okay. Eric, you go next.
The only other thing I have to interject besides coffee and the grain notes and the roasted barley kind of a scent is I'm getting it's somewhere between either a fudgy kind of a note or maybe like a melted fudge popsicle kind of a note that I'm getting. It's that kind of a chocolatey note that I'm perceiving. That's the first thing that I perceive when I had one last night and I had one the night before that, and even in this sample I'm getting that chocolate fudgy note. You know, that's the first thing that I smell in the beer. Yeah. I really, really like that smell. It smells like a non-skunked Heineken, and it's good that they're using the brown bottle for this one. I like that.
Yeah, and it used to be a green bottle back in the 80s, and then it went to the brown short neck, and then the brown long neck. Now, I'm getting all of what you said. You guys said coffee, and I'm getting cocoa powder, molasses, maybe like the lighter Brer Rabbit molasses, maybe. I don't know, it could be. And I'm getting brown bread crust, and I'm getting even cream, like if you put cream in coffee, and like you said, fudge. And I would say nutshells, almost like a almonds or pecan shell.
Sure, yeah, I can see that.
So now,
let's do it, John Sharon.
Go with the taste, Mr. John.
Cheers.
Cheers, clink. And I'm drinking out of a Heineken glass, by the way, y'all, and I want to thank Heineken for giving me these 4 glasses.
Sweet.
Which I gave 2 away, and I kept 2. All right.
Guinness glass.
But, you know, I go back to Beer Cub a little bit after tasting this. I mean, you can taste pretty much everything that I thought you could smell. But in the back end, on the below the tongue a little bit, you get a little bit of that molasses in it. And you get the caramely notes and the coffee notes. To me, it's just an all-around good beer for first time I've ever drank it.
Anything else you getting in the taste?
No, not really. I mean, just pretty much what I described. I mean, it's just a well-rounded, medium-bodied beer. I mean, it's thick, but I don't think it's thick enough where you can call it a full body. I think it's just thick enough where you can call it a real good medium-bodied beer.
Okay. Beer Cub?
Yeah, I think definitely a good beer to recommend to coffee drinkers that maybe don't care for beer or think they don't care for beer. I mean, I am picking up more of a bitterness with the taste. Didn't really smell much in the way of hops, but I don't know if that's from the roastiness, if it like when you have a bitter cup of coffee, or if there's some hop presence. I can't really tell what I'm picking up there.
Okay. What about you, Mr. Eric?
Again, the first thing that I noticed in the aroma was that melted fudgy popsicle kind of a smell, and I'm definitely getting that full front in the taste to it. I guess there is kind of that pecan, maybe that's what it is, that pecan molasses, brown sugar kind of a nutty sweet note that's, I guess it's almost like a pecan pie, really, in a way, with that roasted, grainy barley malt taste to it. It finishes a little on the watery side, but I wouldn't say it's really thin and watery. It just sort of finishes that way. To me, I would say it's a medium-bodied beer. It's pretty crisp, clean, and it's totally easy to drink. There are the light coffee notes, and have a creaminess to it. And to me personally, I think this is a whole different ball game than just regular Heineken Euro Lager, and I think it's drinking exceptionally well. I really, really do enjoy this.
Okay, and let me give you my opinion. And actually, it wasn't really Heineken that gave me these glasses. It was Crescent Crown Distributing. It was Crescent Crown Distributing who. Oh wait, let me think about that for a minute. It was Jim Carrey Distributing who gave it to me because they had a bunch of these glasses, and they said, "Well, do you want them?" Well, what do you think I'm going to say? No, I don't want any.
Right.
I don't want any free. I don't want any free beer glasses. No, just throw them away. No, so I took them. They're great little tasting glasses. We have kind of a little turf war in my town between Jim Carrey and Crescent Crown. They apparently their district overlaps. Both their districts overlap in my town, and I think Miller sat them down and said, "Okay, you can do these beers, and then you guys can do these beers. But in all the rest of the state, they do all of them." You know what I mean? So they share the territory here. But anyway, that's off the subject. Just kind of interesting. I think the flavor.
You talking about Jim Carrey, the comedian?
No, Jim Carrey Distributing.
Yeah.
Different guy.
Yeah, the mask, right.
Look at all this lacing. I mean, it's got a lot of lacing. Oh, everything you said, it's got brown bread crust, the syrup or molasses, coffee, chocolate or cocoa powder, some acidity, cream, some mellow hop bitterness. I'm thinking IBU's probably around 30, maybe.
I wouldn't think it'd be that high.
Maybe 28.
I'd go 27.5. How about that?
27.9.
Yeah.
I think it's got more hop bitterness than regular Heineken, and I think that's to balance out that sweetness from the chocolate and all that. I don't know. It's hard to say with IBUs, but I think it's pretty robust, you know. But it's not a. You're not going to say, "Oh, this is a bitter beer," but it has that component. But it has all that, the sugar, the coffee and cream, the medium body, the relatively dry finish. You could drink a good amount at 5% alcohol, but I wouldn't drink more than 3 of them and try to drive a vehicle. That could be a problem for you. But
yeah.
I know in the Netherlands there is a special Heineken called Tarweebach. Tarweebach is like this 6-point-something% kind of malt liquor type thing that they have, or a Bach beer, almost heading toward, but not quite heading towards a Doppelbock. I mean, why did they not sell that in America? It's like, come on, there's a craft beer revolution been going on for 20 years. Here's something that might appeal to people, but you're not going to sell it. Do you think, I want to ask you a question about this beer, though. Do you think you could give this to somebody and they don't know what it is and they would think it's a craft beer? You could fool them?
I think so.
I don't know. Possibly.
I think it has all the complex characteristics of your typical craft beer. And this beer, not that what I'm about to say is a craft beer, but this beer in some ways reminds me of Guinness Extra Stout ale. I'm telling you, it's got some.
I can see that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Not the Guinness Draft. The extra stout.
I think this is actually, if you compare the two, this has probably got a little bit more, I would say, flavor and body to it than that.
Uh-oh.
What?
He said this one is better, it's got more going on than the Guinness. Uh-oh. That's going to upset the craft beer community, Heineken. Uh-oh.
It's not going to upset me.
You're talking about Guinness Draft, though. You're not talking about.
Oh, you're
No,
comparing.
I said Guinness Extra Stout, the 5.6.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I
I would definitely. You know what? I guess I would agree with that statement compared to Guinness Draft. Yeah, I would agree with that, John.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about Guinness Draft.
I think there would be a lot of people that once you told them it was Heineken would have all kinds of negative opinions up based on the beer, just because it's Heineken and it's always skunky and da-da-da-da-da, and they have that opinion about, lager beers.
Not this. Not in the brown bottle. It's not going to be skunky.
No, right.
And on draft, apparently there's draft. You saw that promotional poster I put on Facebook. On the draft version, it's called Heineken Dutch Dark. Man, if I was in a bar and I saw this on draft, I would immediately buy it, unless it was like $9. But you know what I mean? I would get it. Like when I went to that bar last month or was it 2 months ago? I went to that bar in right close to New Orleans. Remember they had Pabst Old Tankerdale on draft?
Yeah.
I said, I want this beer. It was great too, by the way.
I'd like to try this on draft. I think it would be really good on draft.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, non-pasteurized. Oh man, it would be even creamier, I think.
Yeah.
Well, you know what the final question is. Now I'm going off of what I paid at World Market, cost plus World Market. I paid $7.99 plus tax, which came out to close to $8. But would you buy this again?
I give $8.88 a 6-pack for this. I went to one package store where I really thought would have it, and I asked the people if they had it. They said no, because it's not a big seller.
Yeah.
I went to the place about 1.5 miles down the road, and they had this. And I was talking to the lady behind the counter and asked her if this was a big seller. She goes, "It's not a big seller, but we sell it. It's not as big as Heineken or Heineken Light, but yes, we do sell this." And for $8.88 a 6-pack, and I will say this, and you know me, guys, better than most people do that I drink with. This is definitely one that I would buy again. And I usually don't say that, but this is definitely one that I would buy again. And I really hate to say this because I'll probably upset the Guinness drinkers. I would drink this over Guinness any day.
Oh, well, that's it.
Whoa.
When you get on your beer group later, you'll notice like 2 members no longer members. Okay, all right. Because there is no way that is going to be tolerated. So my new enemy said that he preferred this over Guinness and that he would buy it again. Okay.
Yeah.
What about Beer Cub?
Well, here it runs about $8 for a 6-pack, which, yeah, I would buy it again at that price. I don't buy it a lot. It's something, if I'm in the mood for that, I would buy it. I'm the same way with Guinness Extra Stout, and I probably like them about equally. I mean, they are, to be a little different. It would just depend on what mood I'm in, but yeah, I like them both. But I do see the similarities you guys are talking about between those two. But yeah, it's a good beer. I mean, it's sad that Heineken doesn't do anything at all that I'm aware of to promote it.
No, they don't.
I mean, if you don't even have it on your website, what's that telling you? Like,
Yeah, I don't really, not to put you down if you're watching this Heineken International, but I don't really like your website all that much. It's not that easy to get around on it. It doesn't give a whole bunch of information, to tell you the truth, really. So you might want to relook at that website, Heineken, but this beer...
Their website is the Pits. Their website is the Pits. Okay.
This beer cost me the most out of the group. It's $9.99 in my town, plus
Bad deal.
before the tax, I should say. And yeah, I remember the store that I bought it at. Now I know of 2 stores in my town that actually sell this beer. So That's good because depending on where I am, I can always find this beer in my town, and I would definitely buy it again. I'm really liking that. I seem to be the only one that said that, but maybe that's just me. I seem to really find that nice, like I said it on the chat here, it's almost not even just like a fudgesicle, it's almost like a melted chocolate ice cream. It's got that kind of a chocolate, almost fudgy kind of taste to it. And compared to the Beck's Dark, I think it's far superior, and I did my own review of the Warsteiner Dunkel, which was an old bottle, and that was borderline atrocious. So this one is by far one of the better dark lagers I've had from the European continent for sure, if not the best.
Okay, look, I agree with what you're saying about the melted chocolate ice cream, okay? The fudge sickle, okay, I agree with that. I do think it's better than Beck's Dark. I do think it's better than Warsteiner Dunkel. I do think it's better than, what's that other one we had, that other dark one? Didn't we have another Dunkel?
I don't think so. I think that's been it so far.
Oh, okay.
Could always find one.
But, and I'm not saying those are bad now because I like Warsteiner Dunkel and I like the Beck's Dark, okay?
Yeah.
But the Warsteiner Dunkel I had was not old like you had. Now,
yeah, mine was, and I had bought it for doing the beer review like 2 weeks ago. I bought it, and I just looked at it the other day, and it said best before May 18th, 2016.
Now this bottle's kind of old now. The distributor told me how to read the bottle. He said, because I asked the guy. I said, Danny. He's the salesman for the local Heineken distributor. I said, anything you need to tell me about this beer? He said, well, I don't ever drink it. But he doesn't like any kind of strong beer. The only kind of Heineken he drinks is Heineken Light. He loves Heineken Light at 3.8% ABV, you know. But I said, but anything I could bring up in the video? He said, well, yeah. He said, at one time, we always had Heineken Dark around here because they would make us sell it. Like Heineken said, if you want to sell Heineken, you have to sell the Dark. So they were like stuck with it, and nobody would buy it. But then about a year ago, Heineken gave them a letter and it said, well, you don't have to carry it if you don't want to. Well, then that was the end of that. They immediately took it off the shelf. But so that's interesting that you used to have to carry it. Now, in New Orleans, it's more popular than out here in the suburbs. The far suburbs, actually, because I'm 20 miles west of the New Orleans city, 25 miles west of New Orleans city limits. But oh yeah, I'd be curious to see what.
That would be awesome to try.
But let me say this: there is a date guide on the back. He said the first number is a year. 6 means 16. 041 means it was the 41st day of the year. So this is kind of old, but it's tasting good, and I think it's holding up. And obviously, you want it as fresh as possible. But
what'd you say the second number meant?
The day of the year.
So mine's 6. 6? No, ain't no way, dude.
Yeah, mine's 6970.
What's yours? 6970.
Yes, that's what I have.
That's what I got.
All right.
Well, maybe he doesn't know what he's talking about. All right, but that's what he told me. Mine says 6041 528. But, you know, like Greg says, this is horse hockey. Put the damn date so people can read it. And I kid and tease and pick on him for that. But, I mean, he's right about it. I mean, really, how hard is it to put a simple date? But anyway, we're not going to go on for a long.
Jay, do you remember who the first one to put a born-on date on a can was?
Yeah, Budweiser, the Evil Empire.
I just got $5 for saying that.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, because you are a shill. You work for Budweiser. You only do videos because you're getting paid from Budweiser. Everybody knows that, John.
Yeah.
I want that job, please.
Me too.
No more job interviews.
Let me say this as we finish. Here's what I think about this beer. I think it's awesome. Would I buy it again? Would I buy it again? I've been buying it for 20 years off and on. It's just so irritating that I can't find it, so I'm not going to go on some big search, all right?
Mm-hmm.
This beer can go toe-to-toe with at least half the craft beers I drink, and you know I drink them all the time. as evidenced by the videos I do constantly, incessantly, obsessively, and troublingly.
Troubling.
So here's the problem with this beer. The Heineken drinkers won't drink it because they're going to think it's nasty, right? People that drink Heineken or Budweiser or Miller High Life or Coors Banquet, they're going to think, oh, I ain't drinking that dark beer. It's going to be nasty, heavy, harsh, and all of that, right? So they're not going to give it a chance.
That's what they say about Guinness.
And none of those things are true.
Yep.
The craft beer people aren't going to drink it. Why? Because what does it say on the label?
Heineken, mass production.
So they're going to say, I'm not drinking that. It's a mass-produced item, and a mass-produced beer. And I don't buy mass-produced beer as they drive off in their Chevy and
Oh yes, they're mass-produced cars. Yep.
and watch their LG TV. But why mention all that?
But would you really, as hard as this beer is to find, and I think you see here on the panel tonight that it's not a real easy beer to find.
No, because
we call this a mass-produced beer. I probably wouldn't.
I would, because
Yeah, I would.
it's irritating as hell. Excuse my language. I'm on the second beer. As irritating as heck as it is to find, it's still probably produced in an amount that is astronomical. You know what I mean? Like, they probably produce so much that if you took your biggest craft beer, which would be like what, like Sierra Nevada Pale Ale?
Yeah, or a Boston Lager.
Or yeah, Samuel Adams Boston Lager.
I wouldn't consider next to those two, because those two you can buy anywhere. This you can't.
Yeah, but it might still be a higher barrel per year production than
I think it comes to, and some of us were mentioning that. I think you were mentioning that, John, and I know that Beer Cup was mentioning it to a certain extent, that I think it comes down to not necessarily that it's not brewed to a high capacity. It's in a certain marketplace. Is it even worth, stocking it on the shelves? Is it just going to sit there and get old, or are we going to, have these stores that stock it well enough that, they're going to, sell it consistently enough?
Right, okay, it's only sold in the United States and Canada. And it's not that common in the U.S. and Canada. Like, Jean-Pierre was ticked off because he couldn't find it. Well, he could find it if he drove 50 miles. But,
right. No thanks.
But like Beer Cup's saying, around where he lives in Wyoming, everybody has it.
Yep.
You might go to New York City, and every store has it. You might go to New Orleans, and almost every store has it. 6-packs, 12-packs. And it seems like, well, it's not that common.
Well, I would say
it still might be.
Yeah.
It might be an incredible amount relative to craft beer.
I would say, since we're on this, if anybody is going to be watching this later, I don't mean to jump all over the commentary here, but if anybody's watching this later and has any other kind of dark Euro lager we got to examine, let us know in the comments, or let Jay know, because I think we're on a little bit of a dark beer kick, and we would love to do more, I bet.
Yeah.
Would we?
Hey. I'm looking at Asahi Dry Black. I bet that's even harder to find than.
Oh, I've had that beer. That's the Koronami, the Asahi Koronami.
Swirling seemed to really like it when he tried it.
Yeah, it's mass produced, and yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, Eric, send me a picture of that on Messenger.
Will do.
Okay, let me finish this last statement, and then I'm going to let y'all talk. The Heineken people won't drink it because they think it's going to be harsh, and the craft beer people aren't going to drink it because they're going to say it's going to be bad because it's mass-produced, and I'm not doing it. But so it's kind of one of those beers that's caught in the middle. Mm-hmm. But, what can you do? I mean, I love it. I think it's a great beer, and I just cannot. And people are saying, oh, because they gave you those 4 free glasses. Yeah, right. I was bragging on this beer way before the glasses, okay? So I'm sure Beer Advocate and Rate Beer give it a horrible score. So, well, that's it. Okay, I'm talking on and on and on till the break of dawn. Any last comments? Beer Cub, John, Eric?
Free Tom Brady.
This is the first time I've had this beer. I mean, I'm really excited that it's in a brown bottle. It's probably one I've walked past many times, just never give it a second thought until we done this tonight. And I appreciate you, Eric, for bringing this up last week to try. But yeah, I think if you'd put this on a gas tap in your local hipster
It could totally be a hipster beer, yeah. I can see that.
I think they could totally go down with this beer.
If they didn't know it was Heineken.
If they didn't know it was Heineken, yes.
If it was called Old Brown Shoe.
Maybe that's what they need to do. Maybe that's what they need to do is like do guerrilla marketing where it's mystery tap night and they don't tell you what it is and just give people free samples. And I don't know, they might go outside and get sick once you tell them it's Heineken, but who knows?
Right, like people might you might say, look, I want you to try this dark lager. It's 5.1. If you mention it like that, they might get more intrigued. It's 5.17% alcohol.
But you take in consideration also, though, I mean, PBR 7-8 years ago was basically going out of business and almost inexistent. And it kind of drew that crowd, and now you can dark into it. So
Pabst Blue Ribbon was so bad off in 2001. Same thing with Schlitz, but Schlitz never really made a good comeback. But Pabst Blue Ribbon, what happened with them was the company was in such bad shape. They had gone below 1 million barrels a year, which was unbelievable because in 1957 it was the #1 beer in America. So they dropped. But what happened was they just sold it cheap. Pabst Blue Ribbon was like cheap. So all the hipsters bought it. And another thing that helped Pabst Blue Ribbon is they started doing like this strange marketing, like they would give money to artists, but not really give money to artists. They would say, I can remember this in like the year 2000. They would say, well, if you're an artist and you want to promote your art, you can draw a can or bottle design and we'll put it on the bottle, or we'll put it on their website. So it kind of like, I mean, that's not going to cost Pabst really too much money. They're not going to pay the artist. They're just going to put it on their can,
Free promotion.
Yeah, so it kind of like cultivated this hipster thing. Plus, it was cheap, and so that made Pabst now one of the top 20 best-selling beers in America. And so there's ways to kind of build it up,
So apparently you've not seen none of the new Schlitz videos on Facebook, have you? Huh?
No, I have not.
Let me show you what they're coming back out with, Mo, buddy.
Okay, John's getting really wound up now. Okay, before we close this out, I read 2 articles today on Modern Drunkard magazine, and
there you go, Jay.
Oh, sweet.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
I know about this. I know about that. I know about it. I'm not totally out of the loop now.
Uh-oh.
That's the one that's only going to be sold around Detroit.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I got to drive all the way to Detroit now.
Drop me off some through Indiana when you come back past, okay?
I was just in Detroit 2 years ago, walking all around downtown, buying this and that beer. I had a whole trunk full of beer. You saw the video I made. It's on YouTube.
I don't think you're going to go to Detroit today.
The Motor City.
I was there all day long, buying beer. Okay, now, but I read 2 fascinating articles on Modern Drunkard magazine.
Have you never read that Beer Cup? That's a good magazine.
No, I never heard of that one.
Nope.
It's been around for 20 years. I read an article about the history of Natty Light, Natural Light.
You posted it on my group today, so.
Zone 1, that was fascinating. And I read another article, which I'm going to post tomorrow on Zone 1. It's called, what's the name of the article? Like, How to Be a Proper Beer Snob. It was really funny. I mean, that was a laugh riot. That article was a riot.
Snob. Those are 2 different classes of people.
So I read that and I said, "Oh yeah, I gotta start reading this magazine, because they have so many fascinating articles about beer, wine, and liquor." But and they, they're not too serious about it. But but they are. They're not, but they are. You know what I mean? Like
They don't take themselves too seriously, in other words.
Yeah, just read the article I posted about the beer snobs. I laughed so hard I had to take my glasses off.
Sounds like a good magazine right there.
Modern Drunkard. It is so comical.
I look at it every once in a while. It's pretty hilarious.
It's kind of like the Mad TV of liquor.
Yes.
No, because it's not meant to be a joke. It's serious. Like, the articles are all serious. It's just that the people that write the articles are all alcoholics.
Wow.
So that's what they say. We drank a lot. But they call themselves functional alcoholics. They have jobs. They generally stay married. They don't usually get in trouble with the law.
Generally stay there.
But they're into the beer, wine, and liquor culture. It's
www.drunkard.com.
Yeah, it's a sad yet interesting thing at the same time. But anyway,
Right.
kind of like in the 1970s High Times magazine, you might
That's still around to this day.
or Beer Club, you might remember Soldier of Fortune.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that. Yeah.
Okay, well anyway, so to me, this was one of the most interesting examinations we did.
Pretty good stuff.
Because the beer is fantastic, in my opinion. And it's just such a, almost like a white whale in some ways.
Yeah, I can see you saying that, yeah.
Yeah, because I had some people tell me, when I posted those pictures every day for a week on Facebook, people were, like, stunned, flabbergasted, like, what is this?
The Canadians are online right now.
Yeah, well, some people thought this was like a joke, like Heineken Dark, like they thought it was like, how people put joke posts on Facebook, like it's a joke, it's a silly. I said, no, it actually exists. We're gonna examine it. Oh, they couldn't believe it. They couldn't get over it. But anyway, all right. Any last words from Beer Cub John or Eric?
No, I mean, it's enjoyable beer, and I'd definitely buy it again. I mean, price point was, it's comparable to a good craft beer, but, I mean, price point wise, yeah, I mean, I would definitely buy it again and let friends examine it and look at it. So,
don't you think it would go well with pork ribs and onions and baked beans?
Steak.
Yeah. And, yeah, it would go good with a good pub fish sandwich.
Ooh.
Or if you want to really get fancy, I think it would pair so well with like trout meuniere. Okay.
I think you could cook with it as well. I think the flavors in it would blend really well in sauces and gravies and things like that.
Trout meuniere, oysters Rockefeller, or shrimp Creole.
Yummy.
Not to mention crawfish bisque. Now, next week is Warsteiner Premium Verum, the original Warsteiner. And then we're going to the what the marketers apparently call the Gladiator Pit. We're going to go to Rockdale Light. Well, Rockdale Light.
Good thing the Walmarts in New England don't sell beer.
They actually marked that down $2 a case today to $9.99 a case.
Oh, that is fascinating right there. Okay, and then after that, we're going to go to Old Speckled Hen, which is a classic beer for 37 years.
Actually, never had that.
Ooh, he's missing out.
Yeah.
And then we're going to get really cray-cray. And on September 28th, we got Wells Banana Bread beer playing.
Yes.
I've actually got one of them in my refrigerator. It's probably been 2 years, so I'm going to try it.
It's going to be stale. You better use that beer to make some banana pudding or something.
Arrow with banana pudding.
All right, well, we rambled and raved and went cuckoo, cray-cray, crazy, nutty. But it was fun.
We went cray-cray.
Yeah, it was fun.
Before we get off here, did I see somebody post that PBR's coming out with Blatz and a whole bunch of other beers?
Well, they already make Blatz, but you probably have a personal meeting with the President of the United States before you ever find Blatz.
It was coming out with like 3 different ones again. I think it was Blatz. Hang on a minute. Falstaff and one other. And I can't remember what the other one. I'm
Oh, there's like a Brewer's Gold or something, I think.
Yeah, may have been. Yeah.
Brewer's Gold, yeah.
That
Well,
would be nice to
obviously
try.
I would buy Falstaff without any shred of hesitation.
Yep, you would
I
definitely.
used to buy that beer, and I used to always brag on it, you know. But people used to look at me sideways like he's some kind of sicko. What is he talking about? Falstaff. You know? They would look at my fridge and see Falstaff, and like they would say, "Well, I gotta go now. Bye." All right, but and I was like, "No, it's legit. It has a reason to exist." They're like, "Screw you, I'm out of here." And then Falstaff was discontinued, you know. But hey, last comment about this. You know, do you know they used to make a beer called Pabst? What was it called? Pabst Genuine Dark or Pabst?
Oh, nice.
There was a Pabst dark beer like this.
I always thought they should have one like that.
It existed for years. Don't you think they should bring back Pabst?
The European nations have their own dark beers, but there's no dark equivalent to the United States lager beers for some reason. They should do that.
They should bring back that Pabst Special Dark. That's what it was called, Pabst Special Dark. I mean, I'd buy it. That doesn't mean anybody else would.
Well, the closest thing that I think we have in the United States with the major breweries is some of the regional ones do Bock beers. That's about as close as some of these breweries have ever gotten, like Narragansett Bock and stuff like that.
Yeah, but I'm saying, let's make a dark lager, guys.
I agree.
Exactly.
And I would buy Budweiser Dark. I would buy Miller High Life Dark. I would buy all of it.
High Life Dark. That sounds good.
You know, I seen somebody post on one of the malt liquor groups today a Budweiser that I've never seen before. Hang on a minute. I'm going to see if I can find that real quick. I think it was on Port Malt Liquor. Maybe not. Yeah, here it is. Here it is, right here. Hang on a minute. It was Budweiser Magnum. Has anybody seen that?
Ah, yes.
Never heard of it.
I never have either.
Okay, but yeah, okay. I'll tell you about that real fast, and we got to go off. Man, I've only had 2 of these. Uh-oh. Now, I've got more in the fridge. Oh, but I'm gonna drink hot tea after this. But Budweiser Magnum is an 8% Budweiser.
Nice.
It is strong. It comes in a black bottle. It's got gold trim with red.
It's actually a black can.
Yeah,
It looks fancy.
cans too. It's fancy and it's expensive, but it's only sold in India.
Screw that. Come on.
It's only sold in India, just like Foster's Gold. Foster's Gold is like 7% alcohol. It's like a knockout beer from Foster's, only sold in India. It's like, man, I need to make a trip to India just to buy all these 8-9% knockout beers that they make for every beer brand we get.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think this guy posted this on there on the Sport Malt Liquor. I guess shout out Sport Malt Liquor for this, but I think he was from California, so I don't know how
He might have gone to either he went to India or he went to some place like we have here, International Market, in some kind of bizarre way. It got shipped there.
We got one of those international markets here.
Yeah, but I don't believe it. I don't think it would ever show up here. No, I don't believe it. But it could happen, but
We're in a refrigerator full of malt liquors he had, so.
Well, don't even get me started on Budweiser Magnum. I'd go crazy. I'd lose my mind, and I'd mortgage my house to get it. All right.
Wow.
Well, I'm exaggerating, obviously.
Yes.
Anyway.
I'm going to send a picture to the group of it.
Please do. Anyway, but it's all fun and games and all. But anyway, so next week is Warsteiner Premium Bearing. You think you might join us, Beer Cup, for that?
I don't know if I can get that one. I'll have to look around for it.
Is that the Pilsner one?
Yes.
I got 4 of those, so I'm good to go.
It's just the run-of-the-mill Warsteiner.
Yeah. There you guys go. Everybody should have that picture right now. So.
Okay, I'm going to check that out.
Okay.
Too sweet. Okay, well, thank you folks for watching this rollicking, I guess you'd call it, examination of the awesome, in my opinion, I don't speak for the group, in my opinion, Heineken Dark. And y'all join us next week for our Warsteiner Premium, and have a good, safe, and enjoyable weekend.
Cheers.
Cheers, everybody.
Happy Labor Day. Don't have too many kids.
Yeah.
I don't know where that came from. All right.
Labor